Even those of us that have been in the Senate for 16 years, we are still learning. So we'll do well to continue to learn. But in the course of my talking to one of my distinguished sisters that she should speak whenever she's recognized, I made reference to the fact that we are not in a nightclub where people have to shout above the noise of the music. And the social media went agog. I'm not on social media, but my wife called me that people got angry. They published her number and said people should occupy her. So she used to receive, she received over 2,000 to 3,000 phone calls a day. And then I tried to on one of my phones. I realized it was in the public. In fact, the phone crashed after about 3 hours. So I am very happy with the interest generated by Nigerians in what goes on in these chambers, because we are here to cater for their interests. And so for them to be so interested in what goes on here means that we are connecting with the people directly. And it would have been terrible if we were doing all this work and the people were not even aware of what we are doing. But the communication was totally misunderstood. Instead of taking it for the nature of what we said, that you should not shout when you are talking and not and speak when you are recognized, they went into private abuses. I don't want to say what they did to me, because what they did to me, I think I don't merit it. I was telling DSP that it's even the one they should be talking to, because in my tradition, we marry only one wife. So they listed so many wives on social media. And at the end, it will look as if the Senate president had or has so many wives. When indeed, I'm reporting to my colleagues, I have only one. And I'm satisfied with that one. And she's a beautiful and loving woman. I will not intentionally denigrate any woman. I have a wife, I have 4 daughters. And I always pray that God will lift a girl child to the highest zenith in Nigeria, politically and in business. I also want my children to do well. So, distinguished Senator Natasha, I want to apologize to you if you felt offended. If I had mentioned that we are not in the market, they will say I said you are a market woman. If I said that we are not in a nightclub where people shout above the noise of the music, they will say you went to nightclub. If I said you were not in a community meeting in the village, they will say Akpabio says Natasha is a village woman. For me, there is nothing I will say that will not be misunderstood. But the interest generated in the social media, people jumped in, shows that you have a lot of political enemies. It also shows that I do have enemies. All of us here contested elections with people. So whenever those people think that you are being brought down, they will jump up and they will say all sort of things. And I noticed even some of them that could not pass through Senate screenings went into the fray and abused the Senate president, abused you and all that. I don't know how you took it, but I felt that I should tender a public apology to you over the miscommunication and the misunderstanding. So do accept my apologies, and my colleagues, or anybody who could have felt offended, accept my apologies. I did not mean any harm, and I did not mean what they are misinterpreting in the social media. And I hope this will come to an end. And people should concentrate on things that will move this country forward and not things that will divide us. So I hope the apology is accepted. Leader of the Senate.
We also discussed the issue of the country generally, and Mr. President has asked me to, again, inform Nigerians that he listens to them, especially the young people that are trying to protest. Mr. President is listening to them. He takes what they say seriously and is working assiduously to ensure that this country is good, not just for today, but also for the future. The issue of the planned protest, Mr. President does not see any need for that. He's asked them to shelve that plan. He's asked them to await government's response to all their pleas. He has listened to them, like I said, and a lot is happening. Only today, the National Assembly has expeditiously passed the new national minimum wage. You can see how the president is working. It was transmitted only yesterday. Today it has been passed. A lot of other interventions that the president has also put in place are also going to be looked at expeditiously in the interest of Nigeria. So there's no need for strike. The young people out there should listen to the president and allow the president more time to see to the realization of all the goodies he has for them. Well, for example, you saw that the federal government approved grains for and rice for state governments. It was delivered to them expeditiously also. The federal government is not, like I said that the other time, that it is not the necessary first step. Government is going to continue in that direction, supporting them and ensuring that whatever intervention that the federal government has put in place go to those that should benefit. It is very important that that is being put out. Federal government is looking at strategies to ensure that every intervention goes directly to those who benefit from those interventions, not middlemen intervening also along the way. That's one. Two, you heard about the Students' Loans Board that was also launched by the president. The president is very passionate about that, deepening that everyone that should go to school will have the opportunity to go to school. It's no longer a time for all of us to stay back and see our young, able-bodied men and women that have passed examination to go to tertiary institutions that have not been able to do that because their parents are unable to pay for their fees. This is a thing of the past. The government is very, very desirous of ensuring that that happens. You know that the provision that was made to the national, the NEL fund, the Students' Loan Fund, already we have in excess of what is required as of today. And the more that people are requiring that, the more the president will also give. There is also the intervention that the president is working at for those young men and women who have finished school, who are yet to get employed, post-NYSC, for example. There is a scheme that government is perfecting now. That is also going to be pushed very fast so that all those young men and women out there who have finished school, who are graduates of the universities and polytechnics that are unable to get jobs, they will continue to be supported by government until such a time that those jobs are offered to them. The whole idea is that no one is left behind. Everybody is an all-inclusive government, and the president is determined that no one should be left behind in this attempt to march Nigeria towards progress.